why do men always look for something better? I feel like that's a big thing recently. I know partly because of social media, but do you think there's anything else behind it?
When you say better in what sense?
So I feel like obviously social media plays a part in it, but you got all these beautiful women all over social media. There's a trend that everyone's following at the moment where you've got to have a specific look. You've got to have the big boobs and skinny body, big bum and everything. And I feel like it's become obsessive.
Yep.
So I feel like men, I do hear them commenting a lot as well, saying that, oh, they're not as good as that person on social media, or like they're always going on about comparing constantly.
Yeah. If you're talking for casual sex, then I guess maybe, yeah, because he's not taking that girl seriously. If you're talking for a relationship, men will actually massively go down in looks for personality. If he's like, she has the kind of character and she's the kind of person that I want to be in a relationship with, she doesn't have to have the biggest boobs, tightest waist, biggest bum. Because for that, like, for a lot of guys, if they can, desirable guys, right? A lot of the time, that's just play for him.
Yeah.
He's not choosing those girls because it's like, I see you as the mother of my children. Or I see you because I can see us being together in 10 years, getting somewhere together or traveling the world or whatever.
Yeah.
So the looking for something better is like, it's like we all like junk food, but that's not what we cook at home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? A lot of the time, what we cook at home, maybe I can just speak for myself. No, wait, I'm an okay cook. I'm biased. What we cook at home can sometimes doesn't give the initial craving hit that junk food would.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, we've been on a night out, you're like, I just feel some fried chicken. You just get that greasy chicken, or you get that greasy kebab, and it just goes down a treat, right? As opposed to cooking fish with broccoli after a gym session.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So those different types of meals are for very different purposes in his life. And so guys comparing girls online, being like, oh, but she's got a great body, and yeah, but her body's this. It's just for sex.
Yeah.
Like, he's not comparing, because he doesn't know who these girls are. He's not going, oh, well, she looked like she could be a great wife, but she looks like she could be a great girlfriend too. Like, it's not that. And actually, and it's funny because a lot of the time, I've seen this happen a few times, where a woman who's one of those Insta girls will be dating a guy, and maybe, you know, she wants something serious, but then, you know, it doesn't go anywhere. And then he gets into a relationship, and the girl he's with is much more normal looking.
Yeah.
She's not like crazy up here. She's attractive, but she's not like, and she's like, what the fuck? Like, but look at all this. Look what I have. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, all of this as a priority is great for something more chilled and fun. But for a relationship, well, they look for something deeper than that. Do you know what I mean? But let me ask you, a lot of guys feel like girls are comparing on social media, especially guys' lifestyle, right? Like, oh, I'm with this guy, but this guy has more followers. He travels more. He's in a nicer car. Is that something that women do?
Definitely.
They do?
I think because it's all these reels and just social media posts about traveling, exploring the world. There's this new craze over the life in Dubai as well. These men in these big, massive Lamborghinis, and they've got all these Louis Vuitton and Rolex watches, and they're like splashing the cash. Obviously, women are thinking, oh my God, that'd be the dream. Yeah. And then you've got the woman posting stuff about being, my life out in Dubai with my new man out there. She's sat in the passenger with her hair flowing with like a soft top roof. Yeah. And all the other girls are going to look at her and think, oh gosh, she's so lucky. And then you look at the men like in your local area, like, oh.
It's true. So do you think, why is that life very attractive to women, do you think?
It's like luxury. I think everyone wants a bit of luxury in life. And it looks more relaxed. Like, you go to your 9 to 5 job. Yeah. Not many people are treated very nice in their jobs these days, and well, all the time anyway.
Yeah, very true.
And it's tough, and living expenses so difficult out there. Like, the expense has gone so high. To the point where everyone's looking at this perfect, luxurious life on social media, and you're sitting there dreaming at night with your, I don't know, your cheap little pot noodle because it's all you can afford, and you're watching these women and they just look so beautiful and so lucky, and you just admire what they've got and you just want it as well.
Yeah. You know, most of that isn't real though. When I say real, the watch might be real, the bar might be real, the shisha might be real, but the happiness isn't real.
Yeah.
Because I have family in Dubai, so I've traveled there quite a lot, right? And it's a very extravagant place. It very much is. When you think it was desert 30 years ago, it's pretty incredible what they've done.
Yeah.
But there's no soul there in terms of like half the buildings are empty. Yes, a lot of people, there's the haves and have-nots, right? So a lot of people there have money, and then you have the like labor force, like you very much see it. But you go out to these bars and clubs, and most people are taking photos of their life to portray that they're having a good time.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm great. And then they'll just go back on the phone.
Yeah.
They're not chatting, they're not conversing, they're not meeting people. Some people do that, but I think it's important for us to remember that people only show you what they want you to see.
Yeah.
Because this happens all the time. When you see a couple online, traveling the world, doing all this, they're like, they're having the best lives.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they've broken up.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, hold on. You literally posted
the struggles
3
behind
days
this
ago.
luxury post that they're putting
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you think a girl seeing a guy who can provide that lifestyle makes her take him more seriously long term?
I think it will get a girl quicker straight away.
Yep.
But long term, it depends on how they're treated though. Because if, like you said, you don't know what's going on between these luxury posts that everyone's putting up about this perfect life that they're having.
Yeah.
So I think quickly to get a woman, it's an easier way.
Yeah.
But in the long run, it depends on what that person's like. Because that woman might not stick around if it's not really a perfect life.
Do you think she'll stick around if the connection is mediocre but the lifestyle is top notch?
I think some women would, not many, but I think some women that would just happily settle for something like that and just give up in life.
What would you rather choose? A mediocre lifestyle but an intense connection, or a top lifestyle but a very mediocre kind of relationship?
Intense connection. Yeah, because I feel like, so if you've got an intense connection with someone, you haven't got much money, you sat on the sofa, for example, I'm with a guy, I've got this intense connection with him, you forget about all your problems. Whereas when you go out and doing that luxury stuff and you go home with your partner and you're just not getting on, it gets so toxic and you get miserable. Yeah.
I think that meaning is where we find fulfillment.
Yeah.
I was shooting this film a few years ago and we were shooting in Ghana, and we were shooting in Tamale, which is like a small village in northern Ghana. And the locals, right, not only were they so welcoming, but they had next to nothing in comparison to what we have.
Yeah.
Like literally it was just huts made of clay and straw, the clothes on their back, right? Some of them had to walk a few miles to get water for their family. But when I tell you, these were some of the happiest people I've ever met.
Yeah.
They were way happier than anyone that I'd come across in the UK. And they had next to nothing.
Yeah.
And I think a big reason of that is because what enriches life is connection.
Yeah.
Relationships. Everything that they did, the reason they would go get water from several miles away was so their family and their friends could drink. The reason they would go do the crops early in the morning, at daybreak, was so that their family and their friends could eat. Everything had meaning.
Yeah.
And everything that they did was a level of contribution to the relationships that they had in their lives. And they were so happy.
Yeah.
And they were so welcoming. Yeah.
I feel like people in Britain, for example, they have become very ungrateful for a lot of things.
I think we are very ungrateful, but I agree. And I think we need to change that mindset. But I think a big part of it is because we expect this to make us happy. And it doesn't.
No.
It's this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So while these girls may be going to Dubai, living this lavish lifestyle, we always acclimatize.
The novelty wears off eventually.
The novelty wears off.
You get like a Range Rover and you're excited and you want to go and show it off and you're driving it around. A year later, you're like, oh, I want a Range Rover SVR now. You want more and more and more. Whereas if you build just a connection with a person, that will never wear off. If you've
Have,
got
have
a
you ever
connection,
had that
love.
with in your dating life where you date a guy and you're like, yeah, but this guy is this, and I'd rather, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what was the metric for you?
So I was in a relationship for about 3 years, and he didn't treat me very nicely. I felt quite trapped in it. He was quite an abusive man.
Right.
And then along came this guy that kept interfering in our relationship. He kept coming, he wasn't quite stalking me, but he kept coming into my workplace all the time. He's trying to get for me.
That's stalking, yeah.
And he's trying to get my attention. And he just wouldn't leave me alone. And then I managed
And he knew you were in a relationship?
I was in a relationship.
Did he know that?
Yes.
Right, okay.
So I thought, well, I broke up with the guy that I was with.
After 3 years?
After 3 years,
Right.
because I just didn't want to put up with the way he was treating me.
Sure.
We had a house together, so it's quite difficult just to sell up and get rid of everything and start again.
Yeah.
And then along this guy came that had been coming over to my shop to try and get my attention all the time. And he ended up being my long-term relationship, the guy that I was with for 6 years.
No way.
Yeah. So, and I was like kind of edging towards him while I was in this toxic relationship. Anyway, because he was just so different, and he was quite an infectious person. So I was just drawn to him. And as soon as I got out of that relationship, within 2 days, I would just literally jump straight in immediately into a relationship with this other guy.
You didn't give yourself any time?
I kind of got to know him a little bit when he's coming into my workplace and trying to talk to me it was going on for about 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. So
would you say go on.
Kind of got to know him a little bit then.
Would you say you kind of checked out of your relationship months before that?
Months before that, like a year before that.
Wow. So you checked out a year before, but only ended things a year after. Why did it take so long for you to end it?
So my child was only 5 years old at the time.
Right.
And I just thought, who's going to want a single mum? I've got a 5-year-old child. No one's going to want me.
Right.
And then this guy just came along and he didn't care. He just wanted to look after us.
Yeah. I hear that.
Hope you really enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode where that clip is from, then I want you to click right here where you can watch the full episode. And if you're ready to claim your man today, enroll in my program below, and I'll see you there. Wishing you an amazing day.